Um, all right, so it should be in recording now.
All right, thanks. Okay. So, so do you drive? Do you have your license?
Yeah, I've been driving for 4 years.
Okay. What do your drives look like? Are they short drives or longer drives?
My drives are often from my house to sometimes work, which could reach all the way to the other side of Guelph. So it could be around, I would say, anywhere between 20 to 25 minutes. And then as well, um, I also have to do occasional drives to the grocery store. Again, I live in the country, so we're talking about maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Right. So is it a lot of highway driving out there or is it more residential type? Like,
Yeah, it would be highway driving on the Highway 7 specifically.
right. So if you don't mind, could you take me through say a drive to work?
Yeah, so a drive to work would be, me leaving my house. It would be on the Guelph line all the way till the point I get onto, I hit the intersection at the bottom of the hill. From there, that's a left turn onto Highway 7, all the way until we get to a roundabout, which is about 2 or 3 kilometers away. Take the first exit, and it goes on to Jones Baseline all the way at the end of Jones Baseline. You turn left onto Indian Trail. You pass some like a meat market, and then as well, then you turn onto Speedvale. Speedvale for the first part is pretty rural, and then it goes into the city. You pretty much just hit, intersection after intersection. So lots of red lights. And like a drive that could maybe take 10, 15 minutes at most takes anywhere between 25 to 30 sometimes. um, and then you go through like residential all the way up to industrial until you get to my work.
Right. So what would you say are the biggest pains about driving? Like, are there many stop signs? Do you not like roundabouts or highways or what's
For me, I actually quite like driving, so really, I wouldn't. There's really no experience that's negative. I would say the worst part is probably the stoplights, just because for at least like when I think about gas or possibly like just like wasting emissions for no reason. Like I hate, just being stopped when I could be going. And the problem is like within like 30 seconds later, I'm at another red light. So, yeah, I can't pretty much like I can't get past like the speed limit of 40 or 50 before I'm stopped again.
right? So how does that make you feel? Like always like stop and go. It's
I would say probably annoyed.
You're annoyed. Okay. Right. Um so so stoplights. So say you're driving home from work. What time does that look like?
About 3:30, and around that time you have some people who are like it's not the classic 9 to 5 job. It's more of the like 6 to 3, 6 to 3:30 kind of area. So you have like because specifically my job is in an industrial area. A lot of other people have those similar time shifts, from like the 6 to 3s, 3s to 11s, and then basically 11s to 6, right? So that quick like 3 times 8 hour shift round, you have like a whole flood of people from not even just like one facility, but multiplied by like probably 20 to even maybe 30 or 40 in the area, all getting out at the same time. Probably each workplace has around like anywhere between 200, 300 people leaving. So it gets quite busy. You have some people who are in no rush to go home, and then you have a lot of people who are in a hurry. A lot of that just causes more traffic because you'll have people trying to like cut, in and out between traffic, which just gets people hitting brake lights. So
Right.
yeah, probably an annoying experience.
Would you say there's more backup leaving work when everyone's leaving, or do you think there's more coming into work as well?
Um, you'd be surprised. I think when people are coming to work, it's like people get there at different times, so they're not all entering at the same time. but you know you will like when there's definitely more backup trying to get out because you know everyone is done at the same time, so everyone's hitting their car at the same time, everyone's like trying to you know get to this street or that street in you know a specific amount of time, right? So there's definitely more of a flood when it's a wave like that instead of you know some workplaces have started doing it where they'll have like depending on the department they may release like 30 minutes early or 30 minutes later, right, to kind of break it into three quarters.
Right, right. So, you were saying that you leave like around 6 in the morning for work, or even before that, maybe?
Yeah, I'd probably wake up about 5 o'clock. You know, we get about I would say 30 minutes paid lunch, so we don't have to actually work until about 6:30. So I'm there heading probably 5:45 I'm leaving, and then to make sure I'm on the floor receiving like information from the team leader and line leader, and then yeah we probably go until about 3:30, sometimes released early depending if we've made our quota on you know product numbers. So
Right. Well, this is kind of an unrelated question. Do you work in like a warehouse? Like you work like packaging and stuff? And
This is specifically the you know it's a car manufacturer, so it's part of Magna International. It's a plastics exterior. So I'm working. There's three main sections inside work. There is the molding department. There is the paint line, and then there's the assembly. I'm working in the final production, which is assembly. So there's usually a lot of rush to get parts out of the door because it's a just-in-time delivery system where these trucks are, you know, leaving and in three, like hopefully within 3 hours, the truck is already at, it's fine. Like, or sorry, within about an hour or so after we've made the parts, it should be at a new facility where it's getting put onto a car. About 3 hours total. You know, a part that had touched my hand initially is probably on a fully built car ready to drive.
right. Wow. Cool.
Mhm.
Um, so right. So you drive really early in the morning. So is it dark around like 5:45 and 6ish whenever you're driving? Is it still dark out?
It depends on the time of the year. Sometimes it could be like as pitch black as midnight, even when I'm actually walking into work, and that's like almost a full hour after I initially left. And then you know, I think more on the spring, you know, summertime. It's probably light. Like you know, there's probably a good amount of sunshine by the time I'm actually walking in, right?
So do you notice a difference between driving at night versus during the day?
I know that there's a difference. It doesn't. I don't necessarily think it impacts my driving so much, but I would say that the biggest problem with driving at night versus driving in the day is just some people don't turn off their headlights or I guess like their flash, and the other worst case scenario is the inability to sometimes see the road lines, especially in an area that you're not familiar with. But when this is, a common drive just from my house to work, it's, quite easy to know the normal route and know where, like how spaced out I should be on the road itself.
Right. So would you say like the headlight problem is like very distracting to you, like oncoming and even behind you, like just all the flashing that keeps.
Yeah, I would say if there's someone with their headlights on, from behind me, like I would definitely, tilt the mirrors up so I don't really necessarily have to have that flash like beaming back into my eye. That's probably more of a problem than someone driving on oncoming and then coming at me just because like I don't like that'll only be for a couple seconds, but the person behind me like they'll be probably behind me for a long time, especially when we are driving highway because there aren't really like, not to say that there aren't other roads to take, but it's just like it's a main road, so people are going to use it because you can go faster limits, right?
Yeah, right. So do you wear like sunglasses when you're driving, or do you wear like driving glasses to see the signs better or anything?
Definitely not in the winter time, but for sure in the summer.
You wear like sunglasses?
Yeah.
Right. Um, so if you could try and fix that headlight problem without having to tilt your mirrors, like without having to adjust like your driving like stance or your mirrors or anything like that. If you could like generate a solution to the whole headlight problem, what would you come up with, do you think?
Um, so I mean, it like one of my like I would think that there it'd be interesting if there'd be like an anti-reflecting like glass or sheet I could put on the back of my car. So like like if the person did have their headlights, then it would kind of beam back in them, back at their face or something like that, right? Kind of like reflective. Or just like enough so that it even doesn't harm their driving, but maybe necessarily just like reflects it up, or just anything away from my eyes and my eye level, especially when it hits your I forget what you call it, but it's it's like the I guess the back mirror, like right in the center console there. But just anything so it's not hitting my eyes. A solution. I mean, I guess I could try, wearing like, maybe sunglasses in the winter as well. Uh, but at the same time, I think it's kind of silly. So I would hope anything not on my face would be the best.
Yeah.
Um, no, there's definitely no solutions or any breakthroughs or anything that I've done to actually solve it. Um, but anything to that I would do, I can't think of anything.
Right. So would you say like do you not like wearing like sunglasses when you're driving? Is that why you wouldn't wear them like during the winter? Or, like, do you try to avoid wearing them when driving, or is it it's not a big deal? They're just gonna sit on your face.
Sometimes, sometimes I'll have that feeling where it's just sitting on my face, but I would say most of the time, sunglasses can kind of be a distraction for me. Just because like I'm not used to having glasses on my face at all, and I've always preferred, not having to do that. If I were, it's I find it more of a distraction because sometimes like you'll have light still seeping in from the top or from the sides and stuff like that. So um, sometimes it's not like full protection. So, I mean, yeah, I would say it's probably more of a distraction than it is helpful at times for me.
Right. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you.
All right.
So thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So I just